Hello. This is my first time trying this, and I don't know what compelled me, but something compelled me to start recording what I'm doing here. So I'm just waiting for my screen to catch up with what I think is happening. And I'm hoping that whenever this video materializes for me and then for you, whether this is live on Friday, March 24th, 2023, or if you're watching this some other time in the future or past, because honestly, with what I think is who knows? And I'm hoping. Okay, this is working. So cool. All right, my friends. So my name is Carrie. I am your empowering educator. I am a trauma-informed tarot comedian. And if you have no idea what that means, you're in good company because I don't either. This is going to be a trauma-informed reading because I am a former middle and high school teacher who traumatized lots of kids in my time in the classroom. So I'm really good at it. And what I like to do is weave together spirituality and comedy in the form of a live tarot reading. So very likely, no one will pop on to ask a question, but just in case someone does, we're going to go with that because I don't want to say never. But what I'd like to do is start out with this anchor card here who has been following me around. I'm using the Numinous Tarot, and the number 5 in the Major Arcana is called the Visionary instead of the Hierophant in this deck. And I love the idea of being a visionary, meaning one gets to tap in with their inner knowing and vision for how to heal themselves and the world. So yesterday, this card came up for me upright, which usually means to me that I am meant to share my visionary ideas with others, or that divine is showing me some sort of external vision of what is possible. And today this card came up for me inverted, which to me means that there's some sort of an internal shift that is happening in the way my vision for my future and the collective healing of everyone is shifting or changing. So what I'd like to do is, again, imagine that we're in perpetual time. So whenever you're watching this, you can still participate in this, even though it isn't live. And I'd like you to just take a moment and orient yourself to your physical space. Remind yourself that you are not just a floating head on Zoom, even though I kind of look like I am a bust. I promise you there are legs here, as well as a really nice ass that I'm sitting on. But oftentimes we spend a lot of FaceTime with our computers, and computers aren't real people, and yet we are real. So if you look at your physical space and remind yourself that you are a real person in a real body, like you're a real boy, maybe this will help you to sort of orient your external space and reconcile it with an internal space. And that might look like closing your eyes. That might look like focusing on something in your external space that brings you joy or calm or a sense of safety. But if you do want to close your eyes, I invite you to take a nice deep breath, maybe the deepest one you've taken all day. Notice if any body odor is coming to the surface. And then exhale out. I'm getting the pho taste of the lunch that I just had. Take another deep breath in. Maybe envision your favorite scent. And exhale out. Just that old stagnant air that accumulates in your bloodstream. And then on this last inhale, I'd love you to imagine that you're inhaling something that you want for yourself. It could be a feeling, it could be a state, it could be an achievement. And I want you to inhale that feeling of attaining that thing. And then when you exhale, release any doubts or anything else that might be in the way of you attaining that thing. And I joked about the trauma-informed bit earlier, but really what I'm inviting you to do is just tune into your own experience. Your experience is as valid as everyone else's in the world. So if you have body sensations, memories, or thoughts, emotions that rise to the surface, trust that that's all there for you to guide you during this practice. So I'm going to blink my eyes open, but feel free to keep yours closed if that feels good. And as I was shuffling, a card really wanted to come out. So I'm going to place it to the side of our friend, the visionary here. And I see that there is a lovely little glare, so I'm going to scooch that up. And we've got the creator of tomes. Tomes in this deck is related to Earth. And it is equated to the suit of pentacles or discs or coins, whatever you're familiar with. So we're in the realm of the physicality, what we are bringing from the intangible into the tangible. So what we are becoming magicians about. And the creator is the court card of the queen energy. But this deck really wanted to be intentional about de-gendering the tarot, making it much more inclusive because the tarot is for everyone. So we ask the question, with whom do we want to manifest our physical realities? And this could be in the realm of your body, so your health, your activities. This could be in the realm of your home, what's physically surrounding you. This could be in the realm of your finances, what supports you to do whatever it is you do. Or this could be in the realm of your creative expression. And this doesn't necessarily mean artistic, because my God, my art has been frozen at probably a 6-year-old or 7-year-old's capacity. I love stick figures. But it means, what do you want to create? What do you want to take from that vision that maybe you inhaled on our last inhale together? And how do you want to turn that into something that is tangible and possible for your future? So again, if you're watching this live, which says there's one person, unless that one person is me, in which case, hey, Carrie, great job. Or if you're watching this in the future, I invite you to trust that this message is here for you for a reason, that you get to contemplate the question, with whom do you want to manifest things physically in your life? And how do you nurture those visions to come to life? We have the imagery of daffodils here, who spend a lot of time in bulbs underneath the ground, just hanging out there until early signs of spring, when the ground has warmed up enough and they push their way through. And they're usually some of the first signs of spring, at least in the East Coast where I grew up, and I think some here in California. And then obviously we have the butterfly, who is pretty much the transformation the representation of transformation. And I feel like I'm just going to sneak this away for a second. Yeah, we have a couple of bees on there too. So if we think about pollination, we think about how it takes all these tiny, 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 tiny little granules of pollen that travel around on a bee's butt from one flower to another flower to another flower to make sure that these flowers come back again and again and again. So you can maybe think about, what is it that is your pollen? So what are all of those little tiny bits of possibility and inspiration that you can bring forth? So what is your bee? What is going to bring that forward again and again and again and again to bring that into reality? And how will that bloom into your version of a daffodil? So making the intangible tangible. And then the butterfly, fuck man, I have been in the goo of the chrysalis for about 2 weeks now. And I'm starting to feel form again. Like I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm going to be able to poke my head out of this chrysalis sometime soon. But the other side of it is the unknown. I don't know what kind of a butterfly I'm going to be. I hope I'm not a fucking moth, because they're stupid. They fly into the light and they die. I don't want to do that. I would love to be a butterfly with a nutrient-rich habitat or a group that I can flock around with and also help to pollinate and allow my beautiful but fleeting life to have meaning. And yeah. Another card flipped itself over as I was shuffling. So we've got a pretty court card rich reading here. And I feel like this is going to be complete after this. So I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon. But we've got vials, which is the realm of the heart space. It is water. It is the cups suit in most traditional tarot decks. So we're talking about anything that brings us into flow, which was the rune that I pulled for myself this morning, which is part of my vocation. It's what I know personally I need to embody more to really kind of go with the flow of life rather than trying to make shit happen, which is what I love to do. The Explorer is this deck's version of the Knight. And again, degendering the image of a knight who is on a quest, usually at the behest of some royalty. There's no hierarchy here. An explorer can be anyone. You can explore in your backyard as a little kid. You can explore as a teenager with your likes and dislikes, your sense of justice and fairness. You can explore as an adult, different hobbies, different career paths. You can explore as an older adult, reconnecting with what made you full as a child. So the Explorer of Vials here is one who's kind of been through some shit. You can see that they're sitting on top of a jellyfish, but like my guess is they were stung a couple times before they realized that the top of it was safe. You can see that they sort of have this like armor of all sorts of different shells, which took a while to amass and collect and get all the right shells to be in all the right places to feel that measure of safety. And then they also have something that kind of looks like a conch shell, which is like a horn, like it can make a noise a lot of times. And then they have a bottle, which they have sought. If you think about a message in a bottle, it's usually like something someone puts out there as like a Hail Mary, like, hey, I got this out there and I want you, I want to trust that someone's going to pick this up at some point. And this Mer person, this Mer explorer, has very clearly found their way through the ocean. They have found the safe vantage point on top of this jellyfish. They're just kind of like bubbling around. And they have that shell kind of close to them. I'm just going to pull it close again just to make sure. Yeah, they're holding it like it's something precious. And that can be like the signal for, hey, I have a message that other people need to hear. And it kind of brings me back to this visionary messaging that I'm going to speak to from my perspective, but I encourage, if you're listening to this, to trust that it may also resonate deeply with what you want for yourself. And maybe all of these things together will help you figure out what's in the way of what you want for yourself. So that vision that has been internal, that might be shifting, it might be time to share that out with the world. It might be time to solidify it into something that is comprehensible, like understandable to other people. I also see in the background of this Explorer Vials, this place that kind of looks like an ideal home. Like, I'd like to live there someday. A friend of mine texted me earlier this week and was like, "Hey, apparently California is like breaking off into the ocean. Are you okay?" And I was like, "Great, I can finally be a mermaid. Like, that's all I wanted in life." So if California breaks off into the ocean, that's where I want to live. I want to either be this mer person kind of bumping around in the water, or want to, be on the edge there, just ready to have the ocean embrace me. Um, the question that comes up with this Explorer of Vials is, what do I need to seek in order to have that emotional fulfillment that I so desire? And there might not be an answer that comes up right away. I know for me, I don't have an answer right away. But I am getting this sense of clarifying this vision for myself, bringing it into a tangible reality with a supportive community that's going to help me over and over and over again to pollinate my ideas, and really being fearless to dream and to bring my dreams into existence with this explorer who is persistently, consistently moving towards their treasure. I like this idea of seeking rather than searching, because searching feels like you might stumble upon it accidentally. Seeking feels like it's there waiting for me or you. And I think that's what I've got for you. So I'm curious if anyone is watching this live or in the near future or in the distant future or in the past. I'd be curious what it is you want for yourself. What is getting in the way of what you want for yourself? And then what is one tiny, tiny, tiny little microscopic pollen-sized bit that you can put on a bee's butt and let go out into the world to seed new daffodils? I'd love to end with another little centering bit. So take a look at these three cards, and you don't have to remember everything I said, but I'd love for you to just take in one bit of what I said into your internal space as you either focus on something in your area that brings you gratitude or joy. Focus your eyes down softly or close them gently. And I'd love for you to dare to imagine what would be possible if you brought that little bit of pollen into the world and let it take off to sow new fields of daffodils. What would it be like to confidently emerge from the goo of the chrysalis and emerge transformed and gorgeous and supported? And what would it be to know deeply and internally your vision for yourself and for the collective healing of the world, and allow that to be just 1% more possible? Again, take another nice deep breath in, inhaling all that possibility. And exhale anything that's getting in the way of that. May laughter and love surround and guide you in all your endeavors. I will it so. So be it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this with me today, friends. Experience this alongside of me. And this is Carrie, your empowering educator, signing off.